One of the most important contributions of yoga in modern healthcare is in its aspects of relaxation. The yogic concepts of relaxation are primarily psychosomatic, and we utilize the mind to relax the body, and then as we relax the body, the effects start to become somatopsychic, and the body relaxation starts to relax our mind too, bringing about a harmony between the mind and the body. Four important principles of yoga relaxation as given to us by our Guru, Yoga Maharishi Dr. Swami Gitananda Guru Maharaj, are letting down, giving up, giving in, and giving over. Now when you think of the terms, they may seem a bit negative, but we will see that they are very positive. Letting down. What do you let down in yoga relaxation? You let down all your barriers, all those masks, those pretenses that are keeping you stressed up. Those masks that you think you have to maintain in this society. All those vanities you are holding on to. You start to let down those barriers. That is the first part. Giving up is the second component. What are you giving up? You are giving up all your negativities, all your attachments that produce pain and suffering and the stress. People hold on to these negativities as if they are diamonds and emerald jewelry. They are not treasures, they are garbage, rotten, stinking garbage, and we need to give them up. So the first part of letting down the barriers, the second part giving up our stresses and negative tendencies, throwing them out, and then the third part, giving in. What do you give into? The inner mind, the inner conscience, that aspect of you that is buried deep, deep, deep within you. You are giving in to the higher dictates of your own self, that Atma. You're giving into your own natural state, that spontaneous state of yourself, a sahaja state. You are giving in to that. And then finally, you give over to the higher self, that Atma, Paramatma, Purusha, the higher universe. And when you start to give over to the universe, this is, as Patanjali tells us, Ishvara Pranidhana. When you give over to the dictates of the higher self, at that point, your actions lose this action-reaction karma cycle, and you start to go out of that. Instead of creating more and more karma, you start to burn up the karma, which is what we human beings should be doing. One of the techniques, the Shavasana, is a very good technique to illustrate this principle of yogic relaxation. We simulate the death experience. You experience what it is to be dead without having to die for it. The yogis of ancient times were master simulators, simulating the different animals, the different plants, the different states of consciousness, human, rishi, the wise man, the divine, through the asanas, the pranayamas, the kriyas, the mudras and the bandhas. When we put ourselves into Shavasana, lying down with the head to the north and the body in one straight line with the heels touching, we are putting ourselves consciously, voluntarily, with awareness in a posture that is normally reserved only for dead bodies. In India, the dead body is placed with the head to the north and the feet are kept together and often tied together. You are putting yourself into that position, simulating it. But what is the difference? You are consciously breathing. Your mind is conscious of what you are doing. And this is where we start to simulate the death experience while we are using our conscious mind to understand the feeling. These type of teachings can be traced to the Kathopanishad, where Lord Yama, the king of death, the lord of death, teaches the young Nachiketa about death and the post-death experiences. Shavasana opens us up to these inner experiences. Now, many people teach Shavasana with the feet apart. That is a nice physical relaxation. Your muscles feel relaxed, your joints feel relaxed. And it is fine if all you want is just relaxation. But in our tradition, we are concerned about conserving the energy. And in order to create a closed circuit of energy in our own body, we keep the heels together so that the energy is flowing on the right side of our body related to the Pingala Nadi, and the energy is flowing on the left side of the body related to the Ida Nadi. They can have this closed circuit of energy that then starts to create a link between our energies, because our head is in the north, with the electromagnetic energies of planet Earth, of which we are a citizen. This Shavasana experience can be further deepened by adopting the Savitri Pranayama as taught by Swamiji. A pranayama where the ratio is 2-1-2-1 for the inhaled, held in, exhaled and held out breath. So if you inhale for 2, you hold for 1, you exhale for 2, you hold for 1. This is the pattern, and you have different thalas. You have different patterns of combinations using this ratio. So it could be 4-2-4-2, 6-3-6-3, 8-4-8-4, 10-5-10-5, going all the way up to the Siddha rhythm of 16-8-16-8. And this is the type of patterns we utilize in Shavasana. Why choose Savitri? Because the term Savitri can be having two connotations. One is with Surya, the sun, and the energies of the healing, regenerative nature. So while you are simulating death, you are producing a healing, regenerative, anti-death pranayama to consciously say, I am going to retard the aging process, the dying process. This is a process of what in yoga is called Kaya Kalpa, regaining one's youth. What we are doing is that we are going against that death experience with consciousness. In fact, recently it has been published that meditation enhances the telomerase enzyme. The telomerase enzyme is part of keeping the telomeres, the final aspects of your chromosomes, keeping them healthy, regenerating them. Maybe these type of techniques can do that too. The other connotation of Savitri is with her husband Satyavan. Savitri was one of the greatest women, one of those marvelous women of India, who when her husband died and his soul was being taken away by Yama, the lord of death, followed Yama until Yama had no choice but to give her a boon. And he said, you can have anything but Satyavan. And you know what Savitri did using lateral thinking, for which our Indian women are amazingly competent? She said, Lord Yama, may I have 100 sons? And Yama said, okay, so be it. Now, in ancient times, and even today, our Indian women could never think of having 100 sons with a new husband. And so Lord Yama was tricked into giving back Satyavan. Satyavan returned from the death for the sake of Savitri. So when we do the Savitri Pranayama in Shavasana, one is the death experience simulator plus the regenerative life energy that is being activated by the use of Savitri. And this is a potent combination to retard aging. It is a potent combination against the degenerative disorders that are so rampant today. It is, of course, an antidote to the stress that is killing us every moment, and people start to die many years before they actually physically die. Taking up the practice of Shavasana with Savitri Pranayama, adopting these attitudes of letting down our barriers, giving up our stressors and the negativities, giving in to the higher inner self, and finally giving over to that universal aspect that we are, moving from the individuality to the universality. We then truly become immortal.